Welcome to Where There's a Wills.
There's a play.
I'm Ian, your mid-complexity casual gamer.
I'm Stacey, I'm your non-gamer gamer.
And tonight we are here with a 5 and dime of game recommendations from 2024. This will be the last video in our yearly ranking or our yearly recommendations. We may do one when we get back from vacation that kind of combines the 2020s, but we'll see on that. With this video, it's not going to necessarily be our top games, as these ones have not been. And that's because in January we actually did a 5 and dime for our top games from 2024. So we will talk about those in just a minute. But as always, Stacey gives you her top 5 from a non-gamer standpoint, and
in alphabetical
order, and I will give you 2 lists of 5 for my dime. 5 solo games and 5 games that I play multiplayer and maybe also play solo. And by solo games, I mean games that I play only solo. Some of them are solo only. Some of them they're just games that I play only solo. And so I will give you my points of views from those, and that is on the tabletop, because there is one I just noticed I do play multiplayer online on BGA, but on the tabletop it is solo only. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to just quickly remind people or let people know what our 5 and dime, our top 5 and top 10 games from 2024 were back in January when we first did this. Some of the games on the list tonight were games that just missed our list, but were still really good games, or we had not played yet, because there's several of these games that we did not play when we did our original list. So let's see here. Let's get to...
And the games that I recommended on our last video were River Valley Glassworks, Survival of the Fattest, Pemlem Space Agency, Umbrella, and Donut Shop.
And my top 10, and I was not doing solo separate from multiplayer. Forges of Ravenshire, which was a solo. Let's Go to Japan, which I played both. No Mahalo, which is multiplayer. Stone Spine Architects, which was solo only on the tabletop. Wormspan, which was solo only. Fromage, which was solo. River Valley Glassworks, which I played both. Cafe Barris, which I played, which was multiplayer. Mlem, multiplayer. And Survival of the Fattest, I played both. So those were our top games. We actually rank those from 2024. So those were our top games in January. And I don't know, some of these games may have made the list. We may rank in the future for each year. But let's get started with the list. So starting with my first solo game, and this comes to us from Button Shy, and this is A Nice Cuppa. This is a game that I did not actually receive until just after the new year, but it is a 2024 game because I know it started delivering then. In A Nice Cuppa, you're trying to have your perfect day and have your perfect cup of tea. Something Stacey and I both like to try and do. And you're trying to get the things in order for what your cup of tea is going to be, from making it to steeping it to enjoying it and all sorts of different things. And then in the second row are your things during the day that might stop you from getting that perfect cup of tea and enjoying, not only making the perfect cup of tea, but enjoying the perfect cup of tea. And what those are going to do is those things are going to make you move the cards around. So in the top row, you are trying to get those in order from 1 to 7. and you shuffle them up and you randomly place them out. The bottom row, you place them, you face them, place them face down. You flip one over each round and then you move cards around. They may say switch two cards. They may say switch two cards that are around another card. They may say move two cards somewhere. And in the end, what you need to try and do is you need to try and have the top cards from choosing your tea to enjoying your tea from 1 to 7 in order, and have none of the worries or whatever. I can't remember exactly what they're called, the worries or whatever, on the bottom. There's also 2 expansions you can see in the picture that add some different things, some seasonal situations that might come up, and also a 0 and an 8 card. So you got 9 cards you got to put in order. This one, when I played this one, immediately shot up near the top of my Button Shy collection. I really enjoy that game. It's a nice little puzzle of trying to move stuff around. So that is a nice cuppa from Button Shy, and I just got the other 2 expansions, so I'm very excited to try those as well. The next game on our list comes to us from one of our favorite board game companies, and that is Kids Table Board Gaming, and this is Maki Master. This is another one that delivered in 2024, but I don't believe we actually got it to the table until 2025. 2025. In Maki Master, you are sushi chefs, and you are trying to fulfill orders of sushi chefs of your customers, and you do this by placing tiles onto a board depending on the number of players. And when you do this, you are trying to make things in order and do some collecting of things in order. And when you do this, you have some different cards, some different recipes you're trying to make, whether it's 2 ingredients, 4 or 5. When you put them, you don't have to put them in order, but if you do, you get some bonuses. When you make a card, you get to get some wasabi sometimes, which give you some extra points. You can get some extra abilities, some extra chef's abilities over there on the right side that allow you to do some different things. This one also has a really good solo mode where the AI is just placing tiles out there against you as well. The 2 cups on the board, those start with, depending on how many people are playing, 1 for each person, and they are randomly placed. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to move those before you actually place a tile. So it may be taking up a space. You're like, I can put something here. Ultimately, what you want to try and do is you want to try and set stuff up so that you can, um, maybe fulfill more than one recipe at a time. So that is Maki Master by Kids Table Board Gaming.
And first of all, I want to say hello if anybody is out there listening or watching. Drop us a note. Let us know that you are out there and let us know if you played any of these games that we are going to be talking about. That would be fun. But the first one that I want to talk about, and because I have a family member who is a professional bomb technician, who is bomb technician in the Army, that makes me qualified to play this game. And that,
Let's just be honest. He's the highest ranking
yes,
bomb
he
technician
is.
in the army. Like, let's not
Yes.
just say a family member. He's the highest ranking member of this group. So
My brother is a colonel in the Army, and he leads the United States Bomb Squad. And so that makes me professional just by knowing him in Bomb Busters. And that is by what? It does. And that is by Pegasus
sure.
Steel. This is so like being a real bomb squad member.
Yeah.
The dangers are real. But in Bomb Busters, you are a bomb technician and you are trying to cut the wires that are directly right in front of you. There are a set of 48 wire cards that are numbered 1 through 12. There's 4 of each number. And with yellow and red that are dealt out, and then we add the blue and the
Well, the blue are the main ones.
oh,
The
the
blue
blue
are the
ones are the
12.
main ones, and then we add in the red and the yellow for
Yes.
difficulty.
Yes.
But your goal is always the same, and that's to go through the 12 numbers without blowing yourself up or blowing up the whole group. So players place the tiles on their stands and they take turns pointing out each other's wires and guessing their values. If you match, then you cut the wire. It's just that easy. Um, and then if you miss the detonator, where you see that little spinny thing over on the right hand part of the board, the detonator advances one spot. If that goes to the little skull and crossbones, then you fail and you do not succeed. Do not cross. Go. Um, the unique thing about this game is that there's 66 different missions that you can complete. Um, and they're in order by difficulty inside the box. So you go from the easy level and basically the trial level where you are
Training.
training to be a bomb squad member, and then you advance and you start your bomb detonation and you become a full blown. Nope, no pun intended. That was not bad. That was bad. Become a fully
Fledged. Full
licensed, there we
fledged.
go, bomb buster. So there are plenty of tricky bombs, um, which become more and more dangerous and more difficult as you advance through. So I don't want to get cut up about this, but I really enjoy this game, and
You got some abilities too.
yeah, you've got different abilities that you can come across, and sometimes if you like roll, or I'm sorry, not roll, but if you come like you match your eights, let's say you have an eight and you match it with the other player, maybe that gives you a bonus or a cheater to be able to show another card, or you can um, have another ability to use in the future of some sort. But I didn't think I was going to like this game. I really enjoy it's a thinking game. You have to kind of figure out where the other player's cards are and match them up with yours in order to be successful. So that is Bomb Busters by Pegasus Spiel.
Man, our
Are
alerts are
going
blowing up.
crazy.
We've got a
We got a fire going
fire
on.
west of us, and so the interstate and the highway are both
Both
closed
closed.
right now. So
And
our watches just keep on like
as
alerting
long
us.
as we don't have to
Evacuate.
evacuate, we'll be good.
I think it's far
I don't
enough
think we
away.
will, but we'll be
Yeah.
good.
No, Bombus is a great one. It's one I had heard of, and it plays very well at two players. You just have two separate boards, and it does. It plays really good at two players. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people may stay away from this because it looks like you need more players. It plays really well at two players. We got it. I mean, I bought it a few weeks ago, and then we played all 8 training scenarios in the weekend just to learn the game, and it was such a blast. This one will stay in our collection for quite a while. I think it is a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
And it doesn't take a long time to play it either. So
No, no, it really doesn't.
it's a quick game. Makes you think.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to my next selection. A
Selection.
sorry, another button shot game. This one is Aqua Rove. This is the sequel game to Rove, and instead of going horizontally, you are going vertically. So in Aqua Rove, oops, I picture did not do what I needed it to do. So that is really weird.
I see
Okay, we're
you.
gonna. Hi. Okay, I'm gonna move over. So that did not do what I thought. That's really weird. I thought it was connected. Okay, so in Aqua Rove, you have 8 or 6 different modules, and you are moving them. Different from Rove is when you move them, the cards are a little bit different when you move them. Instead of the modules saying how you move them, the cards say what direction you can move them, and you're going horizontal or you're going vertically. So you are going straight down when you move these, and it is very similar to Rove. I've talked about Rove, and the modules all give a special ability that you can use once per game. And when you do that, you might be able to move some things a little differently than you might want to do. When you do it, you cannot disconnect things though. Like you can't have something all by itself. You need to make sure they're at least connected at the corner. And if you get 7 modules or 7 of the cards going down, you win. And then there is a couple of different there is an expansion card that allows you to kind of combine the two things. So that is one that I'm really looking forward to trying. And I think they just came out with some expansions for this. I think in my last button shy order, I actually added a couple expansions for this. So I'm excited to try that. And that is Aqua Rove. All right. Yeah, that slide was not. I thought it was connected. I guess it was not. That
Oh
hey,
well.
you know what? We're just doing this for fun. So, all right, my next game comes to us from another one of our favorite companies. And this comes from Underdog Games, and this is Trekking the World Second Edition, and we were given this for review by Underdog
Mm-hmm.
Games. We had already had the first edition of this game and all of their other games, and they did provide this one for review for us, and we do have a playthrough and an initial impressions, I believe, of this. So, in Trekking the World Second Edition, let me just first say, if you've played the first edition of this game, get rid of it and get this game because it is so vastly improved, in my opinion.
Yes.
Um, it is the improvements they made to this game made it its own game rather than just feeling like they put the world on trekking the national parks. And I think that was a big thing to begin with. So, in the second edition, you have this little disc that is your money. On your turn, you are going to draft a card. You're going to play a card because I believe you start with a couple in your hand. You're going to play a card, and it's going to tell you how far you move, how much money you earn, and also what you might be able to do depending on which continent you are in. So if you are in a certain continent, you will gain certain souvenir things. So they still have the souvenirs in the suitcases that you're putting in. But now the cards are multi-use, which is just such a vast improvement to this game. So at the beginning of the game, you are going to shuffle the cards and split them into roughly two even piles. One face up, which you can see on the far left of the picture, that is colorful, and one face down, which tells you about the location, but it also has an ability. So when you go to a location, you can go to locations that have either the face up or the face down. When you get the face up, you earn that and you get those points. When you get the face down, it gives you something that you can use later in order to maybe move somewhere else or gain some more points or gain some souvenirs or do some different things. So just and they got rid of the little cards that you used to put in the top that were extra things that I think nobody really used. So it's just a big improvement. Now, the money, you do have to have enough money to do certain things. So I like that part of it too because it actually
Mm-hmm.
feels like you are traveling. But just the new movement cards, so it's no longer, oh, I'm playing this many number cards to move this far, or I'm using this color to do this thing. Now it just tells you how far you're moving, tells you how much money you get, and if you are in the right continent, you get souvenirs. Then if you're in a location that is showing, you you can take the location. If you I think the ones that are face up you have to pay for. If I remember correctly, we haven't played for a little while, but I think the ones that are face up you have to pay for in order to visit the location. Because it looks like there's a little money symbol in the bottom left of them. So I think you have to have a certain amount of money in order to actually visit those locations. So yeah, just everything about this game was an improvement. They made it its own game. The original version of the original edition of Trekking the World, to me, and I think to Stacey a little bit, it felt like they took Trekking the National Parks, which
Mm-hmm.
was very Ticket to Ride esque sort of thing, where you have colors of. It was different. It was different, but the same. Like you had numbers, and that told you how many spaces you needed to move, or you had colors, which told you could visit locations. That's basically what Trekking the World First Edition was. They just did it around the world, and then they added something else that added some abilities that I don't think most people used, and then they added some souvenir tokens on a suitcase. That really it felt like it was just the same game. This now is a completely different game. It is so good. The improvements they made on it is so great. If you've played the first edition and were like, it's okay. I highly recommend playing the second edition because it is a totally different game, and the game mechanics of it, um, I think, are better.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I think one of the critiques I've heard is you used to not be able to go through a location if somebody was already there. You now can, but you can always house rule that. And I think they may have even made that an official variant. Like, just play, if you want to play that way, play that way. So, yep, that is Trekking the World Second Edition by Underdog Games.
I like that game. I didn't care much. I mean, I liked it for the first edition, but as a non-gamer gamer, I enjoy the second one so much more. It just is more playable to me.
Well, and like I said, I think the first edition just felt like
You just
they took national parks, which we
Mhm.
already enjoyed, and we liked learning about national parks, and they just put the world on it. It was like,
Mhm.
okay, now you got the world. But like I said, the dual use cards, oh, that is such a great thing. Like dual use cards, like okay, you can visit these locations, or you can get these locations, and you can get some sort of ability, or some sort of power, or some sort of end game scoring ability, or something.
Yeah,
Just makes it so much better, and the money thing is just so
agreed.
much better.
The little calculator
Yeah, yeah,
thingy that you have to
little
keep your
dial.
own track of
Yep,
money.
yep.
All right, so enough about that one. On to my next one. My next game is Landmarks by Floodgate Games. In Landmarks, you are a tour guide in the jungle, and you are trying to get your people
Wait,
through.
is that what you are? You're a tour guide in the jungle? I did not
Yes,
realize that.
you're trying to
Okay.
get your people
All
out
right.
safely.
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying it is
Oh,
anyway.
okay.
I don't know. Anyway, it's a word game. Uh, you got hidden paths that you're trying to make, and you have to be giving clues. Your party is lost deep in the jungle, and you are the tour guide trying to get them safe out to get their treasure. Um, in the jungle,
I think you're on an
every
island.
it's a jungle. It says so
That
on
part
the
is
in the
okay.
book. It
Okay.
says
It
it's
says
in the
jungle. Okay.
jungle. So I'm just going by what the book
Okay.
says. So yeah. But every word matters when you're trying to do this. So first of all, you have your little cloth mat that you are starting on, and your guide over to the left will tell you where you need to start on your path. So you are trying. This is a word play game, and so you are trying to give clues so that your partner knows where to go, but you don't want to confuse them so that they put their word on the wrong part of the path, because that could get you bitten by a snake. It could make you fall into the is there a pit or a cave or
Yeah, there's a
something that you can
curse
get
that you have
stuck
to get
to?
uncursed.
Yeah. But the connections between them will create a path leading you um, to your treasure for the most part. So is what you're going to do is you're going to use your little card that tells you where on the grid you're going to start. You put the word down that it tells you that you have to three words down that you have to start with, and then give a clue for the next one. So let's say you've got the three cards up there that say bridge, Graham, and
I don't know what
we're
that
gonna
other
say
say.
mountain. I don't know what it
Sure,
says.
I don't
We're
know what
gonna
it
say it
says.
says mountain. But you're trying to give a word that will
It
lead.
says machine.
Oh, machine. Okay.
Machine.
I don't have. Yeah. Okay. Um, but you're trying to give a word that will only go to one of those clues, and you have to hope that they put it where you need it to go. On one side of that, there may be a hidden snake on your grid, or one of the other things that we talked about that you don't want to run into. But if you can talk somebody all the way through to the very end, then basically you win. This is one of those games where you are working together to get the clues and get through the path, and so you all rise together or you all fall together. We are terrible. And
We are.
when
We
I
are.
say terrible,
We're horrible.
I don't mean just terrible. We're like at the bottom of the barrel terrible with this game.
Yeah, so basically, like they said, you're going to write a word on another tile. And if you want them to go by machine and bridge, but not with Graham, you need to give them a word that is only for that. Or if you want them only go to machine, but there's three spaces around machine that don't go with the other words, you need them to guess where you want them to go. So you may want to go somewhere else, like, okay, I need them to go here next to machine, but maybe I can get into something by machine and bridge, and then something by machine and that to get. Yeah,
You're
this is one
terrible.
of those party-ish games that we are absolutely horrible at because our brains work differently. And then when the person puts it down, they're like, Oh yeah, that makes sense.
That makes perfect
Like,
sense.
duh. Yeah, that makes more sense than what I was thinking. Okay. Um, but it's just so much fun. Like we
Yeah.
love playing that game, even though we are horribly bad at it. Like we are really bad at it, but we really love playing it.
Well, you can't win everything,
No, no.
and we can't be good at everything, or it wouldn't be fun. I don't know. I
Yeah,
like to win,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
I hate
yeah.
losing.
Exactly, exactly.
But that's okay. We'll try.
All right, that's a good one. That's a fun one.
Thank you.
My next one is one from one of my top solo publishers, and that's from Stonemaier Games, and this is Stamp Swap. In Stamp Swap, you are um, competing over 3 days of a stamp collection or stamp convention, not collection, and you are trying to collect the best stamps and put them on your grid. And as you do this, um, you're building a collection of stamps and you're trying to fulfill different objectives. So there's 4 different objectives on the board. You are going to be able to put your stamps or your tickets on 3 of those, one for each day, and then there's a there's an end of weekend one that everybody will score no matter what. So this is an I cut you choose game. So you're going to figure out what pieces in a multiplayer game, which pieces you want, which pieces other people want, maybe what you can entice other people to take so you get what you want. You're trying to do some different things. So there are 4 different colors of cards. Each one goes with something different. So it might be talking about a different type of animal or a different shape or some different things like that. You are trying to, and so you might ask yourself, I cut you choose. How is this going to work in a solo game? And I will say the Automa Factory or Atoma Factory knocked it out of the park with this one because what the Atoma does is they appraise the tiles that have the different stamps on them. Now, you may have some that are you are going to take a card and you're going to put some face up, some face down. You may have an extra scoring card that you use, and what is going to happen is the based on what the Atoma wants, they're going to appraise them at different values and they're going to take the one that they want. You can move some stuff around. So you're going to flip one card over, and that's the Atoma's tiles. Then you're going to flip another card over, that's yours, and you may also have something else you need to do. Um, and they're going to rate them based on the rarity of them. So there's some gold foil tiles you can see there. Those are the most rare ones. They on the value of them, the size of them, and it all depends on their mat because their mat changes. Sometimes they may be looking for these squares, sometimes they may be looking for rectangles. So depending on what mat you give them, they're going to be looking for some different things. Sorry. And so when you are doing this, you are kind of trying to optimize what you want. Same thing as in I Cut You Choose, but you have a little more, kind of where the Optima is going to go. And in that case, you can kind of maybe try to force things a little bit differently. Now, when the Atoma takes their stamps, if they appraise one side, I think it's 3 or more higher, then they will switch stuff around so that they're a little more equal because they don't want you to take one that's a lot more valuable to them. So they're going to switch stuff around so that they're a little bit more equal. And then, like I said, you're going to score during each round. You're going to score each round. At the end of each round, you are going to place a ticket on which scoring criteria you want to score that round. Now, you may be trying to build up for one of them for a really big score late, so you're not going to score that one on Friday or Saturday. You're probably going to wait for Sunday. So you'll be like, okay, which one can I score now that is going to help me later? Like it's not going to hinder me because I know there's one that talks about, oh, you can't have a certain type on the edge. Well, you score that one on Friday, then you don't have to worry about that the rest of the weekend and you can do whatever you want. So this is a really interesting solo experience because of the way the Atoma Factory did the I Cut You Choose. And I just think they did a really great job with that. So that is Stamp Swap by Stonemaier Games. And the next one is another one that we got to the table in 2025. I got it in 2025. We were given a discount on this one for reviewers. And this one is from Dranda Games, and this one is Explorers of Navoria. And I
Mm.
just realized that that is spelled wrong. So, Explorers of Navoria. In Explorers of Navoria is a tableau building and worker placement game, and you have this continent, and you have these three new continents that have appeared in the ocean or the waters around your continent. And players are going to do a multitude of different things. And this is kind of interesting because you're almost drafting more than one time. So you're going to take a token out of a bag. You're going to take two tokens out of a bag, and you're going to choose one that you want for whichever type of card you have. There are 5 different types of cards that will do different things. And you're going to take one of those tokens and you're going to place it on the face down cards in the column there. And then you're going to place the other one kind of in your capital city or whatever it is on your main island there on the left of the board. And you're going to take, so when you take it and you place it on the face down card, you're going to take one of the cards out of the face up row. And you're going to bring that citizen, which is going to help you explore these 3 new worlds into your tableau, and they will score some different points based on set collecting and some different things. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be exploring some different tracks. So each one of these 3 islands on the bottom, the right, and the top of the map, they have a start point, and you're going to move along them as you are gaining some different things. And depending on how far you go, you may be able to put a city or a little hut down so you can start a little bit further on future rounds. And then once you have gone through the drafting phase of the cards by taking a tile, then you have a drafting phase that is um, a little bit more open. So now you have all of these. You have 2 tokens on each one of those face down cards. Now, I believe starting with the other player, you are going to take one of the tokens off of the face down cards and you're going to place them on one of the locations in your continent, in your world, in Navoria. And when you do this, so first you have the recruit, so you're recruiting um, your you're drawing a token and you're drafting cards. That is the recruit phase. Then you have the gather phase, which is where you will draw tokens and perform actions. So then you're going to take the tokens and you're going to put them on one of the spots in your world. Then you're going to get your income phase, where you collect your resources and income based on what your actions you have. So when you place them on there, you may be able to place down a little hut, like I said. You may get some points. You may get some extra resources. You may get a lot of different things depending on where you place them. You may just get some points. And then you have the return phase where you everything goes back. You collect all of your resources, your tokens, and everything goes back. This game is just, well, first of all, the artwork in this game is just phenomenal. Like, the artwork in this game is phenomenal. But the gameplay in this one, this almost like double drafting, where you're taking 2 tokens, then you're drafting just based on that, and then you're drafting again because then you're drafting those tokens to get some other things. Um, we both really enjoyed this game playing it, and I'm excited to get it to the table solo as well. I do have the Forbidden Lands expansion, which I'll be covering at some point, maybe next month. We'll see. Um, and yeah, so this game just it really kind of hit for both of us.
I
I
like
think
it.
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was one that I kind of had regretted not backing, and then we ended up getting it, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that was Explorers of Navoria by Dranda Games.
Nice choice. I like that one. My next choice for my top 5 is Link City by Blue Orange Games. In Link City, you are, well, this is a cooperative game, so this is my second cooperative game in a row that I am recommending. And you are basically building a city by matching other people's ideas of what you think should be in this particular city. No city is ever the same because of the way that the tiles come up, and they don't make any sense sometimes when you put your tiles down. So let me
You put the
explain.
park next to the prison.
Yeah, or you can put the daycare right next to the prison, whatever floats your boat. There's no rules on where you can put stuff. Well, there are, but anyway. In this cooperative game, players are creating the biggest city possible in 6 rounds. You are trying to have the most connections between um, you and the other people that are playing the game. So in each round, a different person takes a turn being the city mayor or the manager. I think it says the mayor, and
I think
then
it's the mayor.
yeah, and then their mission is to secretly connect three locations to the sites marked by the three tiles in front of them. So the other players that are playing the game then get together, they talk about it, and they try to match what the mayor has behind his screen. Well, but you can't see where I'm pointing because, um, there's the game right there, but
Over on the right side.
thank you. On the right side where you see him face down, those are the tiles that you are trying to connect with. So you have your tiles on one side, the mayor has his, and then you flip them over and see if they match. If they match, you get to put them in the city where the cones are placed out. And then you get to choose where they get to go, where one of those cones are. If you miss and you don't match a particular tile or you miss all of them, you cannot place them directly in the city. You place them corner to corner um, in the city, and then you have to kind of fill around them. So that makes it kind of a bummer on what you're trying to do. Um, but you're just trying to validate if the mayor is trying to build the city correctly or not.
Trying to validate.
Basically, hey, he can make some dumb decisions, and you're right there with him making dumb decisions to put that preschool right next to the prison. Um, and then to score it, you are going to count up all of the bushes that you have connected. And this can be quite a challenge. We're not terrible at this
No, we're
game.
we're okay at this one. So
We're,
like, yeah, like Steve
yeah.
said, basically what happens is what happens first is someone places the cones in the four spots they want the mayor to build. Then the mayor is going to build, or he's going to randomly draw that many tiles. Now, the white cone is an extra one that only if you perfectly match all three of the other ones, you get to get that one. Otherwise, you get three of them. And then what's going to happen is behind a screen, the mayor is going to randomly draw three or four two-sided tiles, place them down, and place the colored cone where they think that location should be. And then the other people are going to go, okay. And then you lift up the screen, and the other people see, well, these are the locations now, or these are the things you're going to build. And where do we think the mayor put them? And then they guess, and then you flip them over. And like Stacey said, everyone that you guess correctly, you put in that spot. Everyone you don't, you have to put somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else. Yeah, this is
It's a
another
good one.
one that we are decent at.
We try and say, okay, over here we're starting kind of like the entertainment district. Down here
We
maybe
got
is
some
the
food.
restaurants.
We got,
Over here's the park, schools, education, and business in downtown.
but
But
you,
it doesn't always
no,
work that way
you,
because you draw in the
yeah,
tiles as you go.
you always end up with something that doesn't fit anywhere, and then you're like,
Yeah, like
okay. Or you get two that fit in one. Oh, look, these both fit down here. They don't fit anywhere else.
yeah.
Okay, which one can I maybe fit in somewhere else? And just like with landmarks, our brains work differently. But as soon as we explain what we were thinking, we're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
But
Okay.
it's another one that we're a little bit better at that one than landmarks.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's another one we don't care how good. It's just such a fun time to play. It's just such
Mm-hmm.
silly fun. So
It's fun to see how the other people think and what their reasoning is
yeah,
behind doing it the way that they're doing it as well. So as the more you play it, the more you learn how the other people think, and then maybe next time you play it, you can think how the other person's thinking while they're thinking how you're thinking.
yeah,
And then it doesn't work anyway. So
even on the next tiles. But and you go back and forth, or if you have more people, you go around. Different people are the
mhm.
mayors, which I
Each
think
round
I
has
think
a
that one would
different
be a really
mayor.
fun for a big group
Mhm.
because you'd have different people are being the mayor. So that's another fun one. Like I said, we're not great at it, but we love not being good. It's one of those games where it's okay because it's just a fun, silly game to play. So that's a good one. All right, my next solo only on the table. This is the one that I have played quite a bit on Board Game Arena. In fact, I had played it on Board Game Arena a lot, and then had had just it. I guess I had not played it solo because I'm surprised, or it just missed my top 10 overall because I'm kind of surprised on this one. And this one is Draft and Write Records from Inside Up Games. Those of you that follow the channel know I love my rolling rights, flipping rights, drafting rights, whatever in rights. They're just a nice little. In fact, I've got one on the table in front of us right now that I've been playing this weekend and learning, or this week. Um, and in Draft and Write Records, you are trying to make the perfect band. Now you are going to, in the solo game, I'll talk about the solo game. Basically, you have some different areas here. In the top left, in the red section, you have things that are like penalties. In the top middle gold section, those are rewards or goals that you're setting or getting. In the top right section, that is your agenda. In the bottom right, I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head. The middle section there that looks like old Polaroid, for you old people out there, or actually, I guess young people may know what Polaroids because they're kind of
They're
popular now
coming
for
back.
that look like Polaroid pictures. That is where your band members are going to go. On the left in that green section is the tour. In the bottom middle is your harmonies, and the section there, kind of between the top red and the tour section, that is your records, so your singles and your albums that you are releasing. On your turn in a solo mode, you're going to draft 3 cards, and you're going to get to or draft 2 cards. You choose one, or you can take a third one. I believe it is. I have not played it solo for a little while, but basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to fill in as much as you possibly can in the game. So I believe it is in the solo. You take 2 cards, and if you take a third one, as long as none of them match, you get to choose whichever one you want. But if 2 of them match, you have to discard them and you have to take the other one. And it may be you take 3 and a fourth one. I don't remember if it's 2 and a third one or 3 and a fourth one, but that's basically how that works. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to fill in your band, you're trying to fill in all the other things. When you start connecting things, you get some extra abilities. So, like in the upper right, in the agenda section, in the upper right, in the yellow section, if you get a full row, column, or a diagonal that has 4 spaces, you get some bonuses. And in the band section, if you connect a color that is the same, so when you get a band member, he's going to have 4 different colors in the top, bottom, left, and right, and you kind of fill those in. If the one that connects, so you can kind of see on the board, there's a couple that connected with the same color, then you get what is called harmony. And when you get harmony, you get to mark something off in the harmony section in the bottom middle, and that will allow you either some points or allow you to mark stuff off in other sections. This game is a game that is what people would call combo-rific, because if you can have stuff in the right spots, I think I've had, at least on Board Game Arena, I've had times where I have had 7 to 9 um, turns where I marked something off. It gave me 2 bonuses. I marked those off. They gave me more stuff. I was able to do more stuff. I was able to do like 7 to 9 things. I think my high score on this was like 230 or 250 or something on this. I just really like this game. I love the combos that are available in it. I do like playing it solo. Like I said, I played it on Board Game Arena last summer and had no clue really what I was doing. I was just clicking stuff. I'm like, this game is really kind of fun. But in order for me to really understand a game, I either need someone to explain it to me and go through it with me on Board Game Arena, or I need to play it on the tabletop. So I bought it because I was like, I need to be able to play it on the tabletop so I can really understand what's going on. And I went, oh, okay, this makes a lot more sense. And then now when I play it on Board Game Arena, I know what I'm doing. So that is Draft and Write Records by Inside Up Games. So this is a drafting game, so you're taking cards, you're picking one, and you're sending you on. So you're drafting them before you're writing, you're choosing one. So I really like that one. And the next one is the first ever game that Stacey purchased by
Mm.
herself when she was over at a board game. She was visiting with her sister in between here and Denver, and noticed there was a board game store that had just opened. And she went in. She sent me a list of some games. I'm like, well, these ones sound pretty good. They look like they'd be ones you would enjoy. And I looked up some stuff, and she bought this. And this is from Devere Games, and this is Cities.
I'm really
Um,
proud of myself too.
So in cities, you are building the best city. Oops, and that is
Oh,
well, hello.
goodness. Okay.
Wow, I don't know why that is not okay. Anyway, we're gonna just go with it. Okay, so in cities, I'm gonna sit back a little bit. Let me sit back.
My teeth are right in them.
No, they're not.
They were.
That's your head. Okay, so in cities, you are building the best city, and you're drafting from 4 different places. You're placing your worker and drafting on 4 different locations. I did not look at this ahead of time, obviously. Otherwise, I would have realized that the background of this was not white. That's okay. It doesn't matter. So basically, in the main board, you have a city that you're going to put in there. I think there's 8. There's 4 or 5 two-sided cities that have some different goals that you're trying to get. And what you're trying to do is you are drafting tiles from the first or from the second row. You're drafting bonus cards from the first row. You're drafting extra little features from the second row, and from the bottom row, you are drafting buildings that can be stacked. And so basically, what happens? Yeah, basically what happens is in a two-player game, you play less rounds because you only need to play 4 rounds because you're each getting 2 things. You start with a starter tile, and then you have 8 tiles you're going to end up going around. It is really an interesting kind of push and pull, like which thing do I want to take? Because you're going to take certain things. You're going to end up with 2 of each thing, but it's like, okay, I really need those buildings to get one of my bonus cards, but I really need that tile as well, but I need those features because those are going to score me points. So there's features that go in the grass and there's features that go in the water, and those are a progressive point total. So if you have one of them, I think you get 1 point, 2 is 3, 3 is 5, 5 is whatever, up to 5 of them I think it is for each one, and you have a certain number of points for that. You get points based on your buildings. You get points based on, you're going to end up with like 8 different scoring cards, and those could score different ways. And I just really like everything about this game because you are doing this really interesting draft where you're drafting 4 different things, and you have to figure out the best way to do it. Now, in a 3 and 4 player game, you are only going to get one thing from each thing each round. That is going to make the game a little bit longer because you are going to have to reset the board 8 or 7 times after the starting. In a two-player game, you only have to reset it 3 times because you're getting two things each time. But when you're only getting 1 tile each round, you are going to end up resetting it 7 times. So, yeah, so that is Cities by DeVere Games.
And my next recommendation, that this one was closest to not making my last list.
Oh, I think I bought this after.
So-
I think I bought this in the new year.
Hmm.
I think I bought this one in the new year. I don't think I bought this in the new year.
But didn't we just do our last list a
Oh,
weeks?
oh,
That's what I'm.
oh, the
So the
well,
last
2020,
list that we did.
2023 was last week.
Oh, I don't know. I lose.
And this is a 2024 game.
I don't know. Anywho, this one I really enjoy playing. This is probably one of my favorite games. And this is Seaside by Randolph Games. In Seaside, you have a bunch of double-sided tokens. And this is, oh my gosh, my mind just went blank again. It happens on the last game almost every single time.
Wait, 2 more. We got one more after this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Seaside,
It's a
double-sided tokens. They're in a bag. You take one token at a time. You have 2 parts that you are playing with. One is the seaside, and one is the central central area, which is the beach. We'll call it the beach is the center, or the sea is the central area, and then the seaside is the area that's directly in front of you. On your turn, you're going to draw from the token bag and look at it. You're going to choose the side that you want, and you're going to apply its effect to either the sea or to the seaside, or to yours or the seaside. Once you've chosen the side of the token that you want to play, it remains like that for the rest of the game. So once you have it chosen, you cannot change what side you want it. You can't flip it over and use the effect on the other side. Once you've applied that effect of that token, your turn is over. Press pass the bag to the player on your left. For Ian and I, it's usually the other person. If you're just playing a two-person game, just place it, give it to the other person, and then they do their turn as well. So they'll pull one out of the token bag, choose what side they want, decide if they want to put it back into the ocean or put it basically into your hand. And then there are two types of tokens. There's tokens with the blue design that are thrown into the sea, and then the white design ones are placed in your seaside. When you pick a token with the blue design and throw it into the sea, you immediately take another turn. Your turn ends when you pick a token with the white design and put it in your seaside. And the key to this game kind of lies within the interaction of the other elements that the ecosystem is giving you. The sandpiper allows you to fetch isopods from the sea, and the more beaches that you have, so the more sets of tiles that you have, the more shells you can collect from the sea. Having one rock does nothing, but if you have another rock and um, you can play blah, blah, blah. You have a second one that allows you to collect all the crabs from the sea. So if you can get two rocks, and you can collect all the crabs that are in the sea. And you can even steal them from other players if you wish. And then the waves wash across the beach. And if that happens, then the tiles, you flip them over. Um, this is a basically the point of this game is to see who can get the biggest stack of tiles. And then certain elements like the stack of crabs that you get gives you points as well. But basically is what you're trying to do is get a bigger stack of tiles than your opponents. This is a super lightweight game. The wooden tokens travel very well. You can just throw them in the bag and off you go, and you can just travel with this. This is a good filler game, I think, that you can take with you. I think you can play it almost anywhere. You can probably play it on the airplane if you really want to. But it's a
We can
fun
test
game.
that in
We
about a
can
week,
in a week.
just over a week.
But I really like this game. It's easy to learn. There's not a whole lot of elements to it. All you need to know is what the crabs do, what the sandpipers do, what the waves do, and what's the other one? The
There's
rock?
the rock, and yeah, I think there might be one more. I don't
So
remember.
yeah, so it's fairly easy. You have a little turn card that tells you what
Yeah.
everything does. So if you get lost, just look at your little card and it explains what you need to do. I really like this game. It's cute. There's not a whole lot to it, like I said, and I think you should go and experience Seaside for yourself.
That's a fun one. It's a quick one. It's nice.
Yeah.
The components are really good.
Mm-hmm. Very well made. I don't
Yeah.
think we have any special edition of it, but
No, the token. It's just. I mean, it's basically just tokens in a bag. The
yeah, they're
bag is really
wooden.
nice. The
They're
wooden
actual
tokens.
wooden
No.
tokens.
The bag is really nice quality. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one. All right, my final game that I play solo only is one that has some really cool components to it as well. And this is Windmill Valley by Board and Dice. Now, in Windmill Valley, sorry, excuse me. In Windmill Valley, it is a light to medium weight engine building game where you are tulip farmers. And you're trying to score the most points by managing your windmill's action. So everybody has this really nice windmill that actually rotates. And when you are doing this, you that is kind of your action selection mechanism. You are going to rotate the windmill and you're going to choose which side you are going to do things from and make the best possible choices. So you might be planting tulips, you might be buying goods, you might be upgrading your windmills so that it is more powerful. You might be building windmills on the main board. You might be doing stuff with the oh, my mind just went blank as well. With the it's the dam, so how much water your farms are getting and stuff. So you're kind of moving, you're kind of doing stuff on this on the board on the right there. You have some queen's favors that you're trying to do. So when you're doing this, and the solo mode plays really well because it has a simple deck of cards that controls who is called the Queen's Gardener. And each card is going to say what the gardener is going to do and the actions that they take. Now, I have heard some criticism on this game that when you're playing multiplayer, somebody can really, if they really know the game, they can rush the ending really, really fast. And then it's not a very good experience. In the solo game, that's not as easy to do because the cards come out how they come out. So sometimes they might not, but it's not like it's always. The gardener also has their own mat, so they are putting tulips on. You're gaining bonuses from different things. Um, yeah, so I just really like this. It's a nice little game. Now it's got a weight of, and I know this is a flawed system. It's got a weight over 3. It's one of the few games we have that has a weight of over 3 on Board Game Geek, and I think that is very extreme. I think that's also because people either need to weigh this as a 2, which is light medium, or a 3, which is medium, or a 4, which is medium heavy. There's no in between. So in order for you to make this a 2, like lower than a 3, you need to rate it a 2. And I don't think it's a 2. I think it's probably somewhere in that middle. It's kind of that medium, light to mid. It's kind of in that light to mid range. There is quite a bit going on. So you do have like a couple different sections here on the left that you're trying to do things, get the queen's favor, upgrade your windmills, get some helpers, do some stuff with the dam. And then you've got the board over on the right where you're doing some things as well. Really like this one. It's one that I've not had to the table for a little while, and I do want to get it back out. It's a lot of fun. That is Windmill Valley by Board and Dice. And my final game is the one that was on the thumbnail. It is the highest rated one or highest ranked one that on this list that we are giving today. And this is one that we've played 2-player. I've also played it solo, and I've played it on Board Game Arena quite a bit. And this is Harmonies by Libalude. And in Harmonies, you have these different animal cards that you are trying to put different patterns. And so what you do is on your turn, you are going to draft a set of these little round, chunky tokens, and you're going to place them on your board. And you are trying to fill your board and fulfill these different cards so you can score the most points on these animals. You are also not only scoring the animals, so each one of the little colored tokens is from an animal, and this person looks like they have some really cool colors that they're using. They're using lots of different colors. I think we just have a main color and then the white color for the spirit animals. And so when you fill them, you are going to put a little cube on a specific one of the tiles. So when you're placing these tokens down, you're trying to do a couple different things. You're not just trying to make the patterns, you're trying to make them in the most efficient way so you can maybe use some of those towers in different ways. So things score not only based on how many cubes you can get off of an animal, but they also score the trees. If you have just a green, it scores a certain number of points. If you have a one brown trunk underneath one of them, you get a certain number of points. If you have 2 brown trunks, you get a certain number of points. The mountains, the gray ones, they score based on their height as well, but they only score if they are next to another mountain. So you can't have a single mountain peak. You have to have basically a mountain range. The rivers score depending on what side you're on. So there's 2 sides of the board. The side of the board that is being shown, you actually score based, your rivers actually score based on how many different sections you can make. So this person has built a couple rivers that has actually split their board into 3 sections because this is an island. So they now have basically 3 separate islands, so you score points. On the other side, it is based on the longest river you make. Then the buildings, which are the red ones, those score based on I believe it's if you have at least 3 see the buildings score if you make them. I do believe, I can't remember exactly, I think it's the yellow ones that score if you have at least 3 different types around the yellow. The buildings can be placed on another building, another red tile. They can be placed on a brown tile, or they can be placed on a gray mountain tile. So all in all, you are trying to just get these different patterns, and you're trying to do it the most efficient way. The solo mode is done really well as well because you will take some tiles off, you'll make your stuff, and then you clear the complete board. You have less spaces to choose from. So that was a highly rated one from last year. I know it's up for several awards, or has been up for several awards. That is Harmonies.
So we are going from a highest rated game to a game that I don't hear a whole lot about.
No, I've
Um,
heard a little bit, but not a lot, and
yeah,
I think more people should be talking about this one.
I think so too. I really enjoy this game. This is Wonderlust by Wonderlust Discover the World by Pectus Studios. In Wonderlust Discover the World, one of the primary aspects of this game is drawing transportation cards in order to visit other cities all around the world. Um, and this is a travel planning game. And I don't. This irritates me because I don't get to go where I want to go in real life. And so you got to visit it some way or another. But anyway, this is kind of like Ticket to Ride, but in Ticket to Ride you don't have to fulfill your card all at once. With these ones, when you have your destination card, you have to have all of the transportation cards in order to make your route. So is what you're going to do is you're going to start, you draw a card to start where your home city is going to be based from, and you put your starting position on that city. And then all the other players pick one of their cards for their starting city as well. So you're all starting across the world. Now you are on the top of the board. You see the different some different cards, and you can go by airplane, you can go by private airplane, you can go by car, you can go by train, or you can go by boat. And you have your transportation cards that you're going to be drawing from, and in order to move from one location to a next location that you have already drawn, you need to have those three cars and the boat and the airplane, or the wild card is also an option as well. Um, and then for each position that you move, you get that many points. Except for when you use a wild, you don't get any points for the wild. So there's a decision to make. Am I going to take a wild card, or am I going to wait until I can get the other airplane that I need to take? Or you can go to an airport. If you go to an airport, you have to have the airport, or I'm sorry, the airplane card, um, in order to visit. What's that called when you get the people to help you when you're at the airport?
Encounters.
Encounters. Um, if you get to an airport, you get an encounter card. That encounter card can help you. It can be a person who can move you to another city without using any of your transport cards. It could be somebody who can assist you by privately flying you somewhere. So there's different reasons why you'd want to get those encounter cards. Um, and so when you are finished and you have, what is it, 7 cards or 7 cities that you visit. Oh, and I forgot, you can collect your what are they called? The crap that people buy you when they go to
Souvenirs.
souvenirs, not crap. Sorry, did not mean that.
Souvenirs.
People can buy you souvenirs, or you can buy souvenirs when you get to a city, but you have to buy the souvenir while you're in that city. Once you move off of that city, you cannot buy souvenirs in that city. And so you get points by collecting souvenirs. You get points by
Sending postcards from ports.
postcards from the ports.
And taking pictures at the natural wonders.
Yes, and there's only what, a handful of natural wonders. So
Yeah.
if you get a natural wonder card, you really want to get to that location so that you can take the picture, so that you get the bonus points, because the pictures are worth a lot more. But anyway, so you're going to add up all of those, and the person with the highest points wins. Down on the bottom, you see the little track, the little brown track. That's where you are moving, and there's a maximum of 30 points that you can get on that track.
That's in-game scoring.
In-game scoring. But if you get an encounter, it may tell you that you only need to get 24 points in order to max out, or something to that effect. I really like this game. I like that you have to have all of the transportation cards in order to move. there's also the
Goal cards.
goal cards that each person is trying to fulfill as well. So the goal cards could be whoever visits the most ports, whoever has the most postcards and the most pictures. Um, there's just different goals that will earn you different points as well. First player gets the most points, second person will get the second most points, and the third person no.
No, so basically what it is, the end game triggers when someone has got two of
Oh,
those
that's right.
goals. And depending on player count, if you get the goal, you get the points.
That's right.
So it might be you need a certain number of in-game points. It might be you need a certain number of locations in a you need 4 locations in a single region. Each region is colored. It might be, oh, you need 6 souvenirs, you need 3 postcards, and you need 2 pictures. Whatever they are, they get there's 3 goals every game. And so as soon as someone finishes 2 of them, it triggers. So it could be a short game, it could be a quick, long game,
Yeah.
depending on what you're doing, how you're doing it. And the other thing is there's some each one of the players' passports
Mm.
has a basic side and then has a side that has some powers. So there's asymmetric abilities, which give the game a little bit different.
Asymmetric, that's correct. And there's also a balance between saving too many transportation cards and trying to snag the destination card before somebody else gets to it. The thing that sucks the worst is when you're only 3 spaces away from a destination that's waiting for you to take it and you can't get those
Because
cards.
you can't make your
And then
way
someone
around
just
anyway.
comes and snags it from
Yeah,
you while you've been trying to get your
yeah,
cards for it. That just irritates me something
yeah.
fierce. But that's that just
This is a good one. I really like it because I mean I talked about checking the world earlier. Similar but different
mm,
because in trekking the world you're moving towards locations. I love the fact, like Stacy said, one of the big things of this and that we both really loved is you have to have your entire route in order to get to a location. So you may be trying to get one card and you're trying to like, how can I get this card? Okay, there's a wild. Do I really want the wild? Because the wild's not going to score many points.
mm-mm.
You get points based on how many cards you lay down. So you're also trying to go, can I get another card? You can I take this? I can go 5 routes instead of 4. Is someone going to steal it though? And like, where do I want to go? So yeah, it's a really fun game.
We did a live playthrough of
We
this.
have an initial impressions, we have a live stream, and I have a solo live stream because
Mm-hmm.
there's a really good solo mode that has some variability. And I believe when we got it in last year, I may have an unboxing of it as well. But we do have an initial impressions, a live stream, and a solo stream of it as
Mm-hmm.
well, so you can see all those on the channel.
But if you watch the live stream, you'll see how I was so close and I could not for the life of me get a car to travel to where I needed to go. I had a handful of boats and airplanes and I could not get a car to move that one spot that I needed. I'm not
Yeah,
bitter.
it happens.
I'm
It
just saying,
happens.
I'm not bitter.
Yeah. Well, there you have it,
I'm
everybody.
over it.
There you have it. There are 15 2024 game recommendations. Let me just quickly pop up the Stacy's top 5 from January and my top 10. Those were all games that we talked about back in January when we actually did our ranked listing, our early ranked listing. This is not a ranked listing, obviously, because many of those games would probably still be on the list. We just played so many great games that came out in 2024. We wanted to give you 15 different games that weren't on that list. Originally, we were just going to do 15. And I'm like, you know what? We already did a 5 and dime for this that was ranked, which was our favorites at the time in January. Let's give 15 more. We really, really enjoy. And these are games we absolutely love. Like so many of these are, are just some of our favorites. I mean, I will guarantee that if we were to re-rank, some of these would be on my list. Now, I would probably do it a little differently because I would have 5 solo and 5 multiplayer, or maybe I would do 10 multiplayer and then do a separate 10 solo or something. But yeah, so here's 15 more great games from 2024 that we highly recommend, especially if you are gamers like us.
Or
Um,
gamer like me.
yeah, well, non-gamer gamer, mid complexity gamer, solo gamer, just 2 people who like to game and have a little bit of fun playing games without needing too much going on. So yeah, and I think all the games on Stacey's list and all the games on my multiplayer were games we both really enjoyed. So yeah, let us know what some of your favorite games from 2024 are. We are now halfway through 2025 almost, which is
Oh my
kind of
gosh.
crazy. So please drop us a comment below. What are some of your favorite games from 2024? Let's see what's coming up in the next couple weeks. So next week I'll have something solo on Monday or on Sunday. We'll have some sort of review on Monday. It may be a solo review. It may be just a quick one. We got some different formats that we're going to be playing around with. We will have a playthrough on Wednesday. We will have a very brief five and dime next Friday, which is just going to be bringing you. We're just going to quickly talk about 15 of our favorite games, and we're not going to dive deep into the mechanics. We're just going to talk about why they're one of our favorite games. We are heading on vacation in about a week for my 50th birthday.
He's old.
And next Thursday is actually our 15-year anniversary. So I'm like, 15 years together. Hey, let's just do 15 of our favorite games.
So I got married when I was 15. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm younger. Anyway, and then we will have some content going up while we're gone. It'll be a new month, so we'll have our new showcase wall, and we got a fun five and dime that we're going to do. Another quick one, where we're going to revisit our resolutions and see how poorly we're doing halfway through the year. Um, Anyway, thank you for joining us. Those were 15 more game recommendations from 2024. Once again, this has been Where There's a Wills.
There's a play.
I'm Ian.
I'm Stacey.
And we'll see you next time.
At the table.